Okay, that's it. We are live.
Okay. Hello and welcome to episode 341 of the UK Steelers podcast. You're joined once again by me, Mark Hansen, as we traverse our way through draft season. Once again joined by Gavin Marshall, and we're delighted to have back with us Mr. Thomas Fielding as well. Gav, I'll start with you. How you doing?
Not too bad at all. Not too bad. Yeah, excited to be these new worlds we're moving into with the YouTube live stream and also all of the cut up videos that we're putting out there on YouTube. So if you're not on the YouTube, get over there, subscribe. We've got good stuff going on. Hoping those videos will be a useful resource as we go through on draft night. Maybe some later rounds prospects that people don't know about. Maybe they can Google the names and hear what we had to say about them. So yeah, we're going to try and get all those videos done, and then obviously there's a WhatsApp group to join. So yeah, lots of stuff going on at the moment with the UK Steelers fans group as well. But we'll get more into that later. But
yeah, absolutely. It's a fun time right about now. Only a month or so away until the draft. About I think it's 5 weeks today. I think it is that the draft kicks off. And a calendar month away from me going out to Pittsburgh. I'm very excited about that. But Tom, how are you doing?
Yeah, well, good, thank you. Excited about talking about the safeties tonight. I think this is one of my overall ever is like my favorite class, as in just the safeties, not this year, but safety class is one of my favorite to look at. It's one of those ones that I can imagine, even though my size isn't great, I could see myself in the NFL being a safety. So that is it's one of those positions that that translating my soccer, football from this side of the pond, my kind of positioning from there over to the NFL world.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I always find safety a little bit difficult. I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit more. It's just because the safeties don't generally do a ton for our games. Like, so if they're doing a ton, it means something's going wrong, and in the front definitely. But it's you have to be a bit patient watching safeties, I think, especially when you got a strong front ahead of them. It's like, well, they'll do something in a minute, maybe, hopefully. But definitely an interesting one. But this class in particular, I think, is a really, really strong one. And as I say, we'll get into it very shortly. But first and foremost, we have to shout out our show producers this month, always keeping the lights on. Patreon.com/UK Steelers Pod. Our show producers this month: Jason Bowdler, Rob Ferguson, Teenage Mutant Ninja Dave Hart, Glenn Jones, Matt Audley, Steve Williams, Ian Ferrugia, Christian Robb, Thomas Fielding, hello, Joe Pearson, our resident food correspondent Christopher Anderson, Philip Williams, Laura Casey, Michael Coonahan, Paul Fielding, the obscenely handsome Lee Matthews, and the Aussie Storm, Galileo West.
Thanks to those wonderful producers.
Awesome stuff. Thank you once again to our Patreons. Not a great deal of Steelers news since we last recorded. We obviously had the breaking news of Sebastian Joseph Day come through when we were recording last week. But we did have one piece of news which we don't think we touched on, but this is our memories. So, apologies if we are retreading anything here, but I think it's quite apt for this episode to talk about the acquisition of safety Jaquan Brisker, formerly of the Chicago Bears. Gav, I'll start with you. What do you think of the Brisker pickup?
I love the move. Just hope he can stay healthy. Is about as simple as it is. We like the player in the draft in the process. We've seen that he can make an impact. Not quite the same impact that we've seen Petrie, who was in that same draft class. He seems to have made more of an impact. But Brisker, I think, has made an impact, but it's just there's been a few concussion issues and other issues, isn't there? So
yeah, no, but Bears fans, Bears fans across the board have kind of been like, he's great when he's healthy, and the when is here or there, really. I know Mike's Chicago friend said that he's one concussion away potentially from retiring. So that's definitely concerning. But I don't know how I see it, because a lot of people are saying that he's kind of a similar player to Deshaun Elliott, but you might be able to move a couple of those pieces around. But Tom, what did you make of the move?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the move, and for the price as well. I mean, I think the injury concern brought the price down a bit probably. But what is it, 5.5, isn't it, million that they're looking
yes,
at
1 year, 5.5 million. Yeah.
Yeah, so not a bad get really for that money. I mean, as you say, the injury issue is basically what is going to be defined as. But I think, was it last year that he played in every game though? I think it was 2024 where he had the injury issues.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he did last year. Yeah,
I've just pulled it up. 5 games he played in 24. The rest of the time he's started 15 in 22, 15 in 23, and 17 in 25. So maybe it's more that he just goes out of games.
Every game last year. Then, so that's good. Yeah, that's a good sign. But
yeah, it's just, as you say, is he like Elliot in a what way? He has a good reputation of tackling and being a blitzer, but I'm not too sure what he's like in pass coverage.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a box safety or kind of nickel kind of guy rather than a sort of post up safety, is he? He's not really like a single high guy, I don't think, from what I know of him.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be. I think the door is still open for the Steelers to potentially still pick one up in this draft. But I think it's a good move because I believe Chuck Clark is gone now. Is that right? Or was he a 2-year deal? I can never remember who's. Especially in the secondary, I always kind of lose track of who's actually under contract and who's not with the Steelers.
He's gone.
We've got no depth except for what's his name, who came out of the draft last year.
Oh,
from
Sebastian
Iowa.
Castro. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So
Well, they've got
definitely.
Elliott and Ramsey starting, Brisker and Savage second
They
string.
picked up, didn't they?
Oh yes, yeah.
And then Castro and Henderson, who are kind of moonshots, third string.
Yeah. So definitely, I think, and particularly with this class that we're going to talk about, I think there's definitely room to pick up somebody and really add to that. But it's a nice pickup. As I say, we just got to hope that he stays healthy throughout it because he could actually be quite a nice piece for us.
Yeah, looking at his PFF, it's kind of patchy, but what's probably the highlight is the tackling. A couple of bad games, maybe he had some whiffs there, but generally the tackling's in the sort of high 70s, 80s kind of range. So that we know that Steelers traditionally like good tacklers. They don't always get it, but that's what they want, and that seems to be a sort of strong point.
Yeah, we could do with some good tacklers considering the missed tackle rate of last season. I don't know if either of you guys have got anything else that you wanted to bring up here. Otherwise, we could just dive straight into these safeties. It's been that kind of a slow news week. I don't think there's really much else to talk about. I think everyone's just now in kind of turning into draft mode, aren't they? Almost a month out now. I think my timeline is just absolutely laden with pro days and talk about draft hopefuls.
Do you want to go into that around top 30 visits or anything?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Of course, we need to talk about the top 30 visits. There has also been some interest at pro days. Mike McCarthy and Omar Kama at the Georgia pro day to check people out. I sincerely hope they had a good look at Oscar Delp while they were there. But there's been scouts here, there, and everywhere. I think we had an area scout at Penn State, and I believe Dan Colbert, who is Kevin Colbert's son, and is still, I think he's the chief of scouting, chief of college scouting for this team, which is interesting that there is still a Colbert in the room. I told Ketz this a little while ago, and he was like, "Oh, for God's sake!" So but he was out at Central Michigan, I believe he was, which is an interesting one. I'm trying to think who's in this draft from Central Michigan. I can't think.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one to keep an eye on.
I'm sure they've got an edge, but he is an older prospect. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we're looking for just a kind of backup, kind of depth piece at edge, maybe that's what they're kind of looking into. But yeah, an interesting one for sure. But yes, 30 visits. So the list is growing, and the list currently contains the following people. So we've had local visits. I think I mentioned that we had Khalil Denkins, the tight end out of Penn State, who's a local visit. And
can I just say,
today
sorry, I just want to interrupt. I'm really sorry. Tom, How did you know? The Central Michigan, I've just found out, they've got Edge, Michael Heldman. He's currently
Yeah.
335 on the big
Yeah.
board. Jeez, man, your knowledge is just insane. He's the only guy that's on the big board. So well done. That's why Tom is here, people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Sorry for that interruption.
No. It's a very good thing to pick up on. Yeah, this is why we bring in the experts, people. The other local visit that we've had, linebacker Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh, the University of. I'm quite excited for that one. Again, much like this safety class, the linebacker class is getting a lot of hype, and I think Kyle Lewis himself is getting a fair bit of that as well. So very interested to kind of dive into his tape for when we do that episode. But nice to have him in there. Non-local visit, so I just go down the list here. Carson Beck,
Interesting
Miami
one.
quarterback. Yes, I am intrigued by this. I didn't hate Beck's tape. I know, there wasn't a ton of progression when he kind of left Georgia and came into Miami. Got to a national championship, but I don't hate that we're treading, kind of kicking the tires on Beck compared to some of the other QBs in this class. I think Beck would probably be one of the slightly better ones to maybe have a look at. I don't know if you feel the same way, either of you, but
Career backup. For
Absolutely,
me.
yeah. I think he's a top level backup. I think if you want a backup and you're drafting for a backup, he's definitely a guy you want. He's going to come in. He's going to know the system. All right, he maybe his arm is a bit noodly now because of the injuries, but perhaps that's something that can be rehabbed, and then maybe there is like a little bit of upside. But I don't think it's anything much more than a kind of Mason Rudolph kind of career arc. Maybe he'll get a chance to start and then be found out, but I think you need good backups, and the fact that he can come in, he can prepare so well, and he's kind of a yak dink and dunk, slice up your defense with a death by 1,000 cuts merchant. That's not a bad thing to have as backup. Reliable, safe with the ball. I wouldn't hate it as a backup. I wouldn't want it to be a starter.
Do you think if we do draft him though, if that is the outcome, do you think he basically replaces Mason?
I think so, or they groom him to replace Mason.
Yeah, could well do, certainly. Few wide receivers on the board here. Jeff Caldwell from Cincinnati. Kendrick Law from Kentucky, who's also a kick returner. Speed is his game, as I've heard in there. Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. I didn't actually see this one. I've just seen this one on this list here. I didn't know that it's date unknown, apparently, so I don't know. That's just talk that we have had a visit with Jeremy Bernard, so interesting to see if that actually did come off. And then an upcoming one with Denzel Boston, the lengthy wide receiver from Washington, who's previously had first round buzz, but that seems to be dying off a little bit.
How was his combine? Did he have a great combine?
Wasn't great. No,
so.
Yeah. It's always difficult anyway, and I think he kind of somewhat underperformed. But
he had a lot of drops, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's plus the fact that he's a little bit similar to what we already have in the building. I think coming into this draft class, I was seeing Boston pick to us a lot. Early on in the draft process, but that seems to have died off a little bit now with the moves that we've made and with what's happened with Boston. But interesting that we've still had the visit, or going to have the visit with him.
He's definitely like a height weight guy. He didn't run a 40, did he? So
no,
that would be good to know. If the questions is it about his speed? I would have thought, and maybe fluidity. If he's dropping balls on the gauntlets and stuff, it's not great, is it?
No, exactly. But remains to be seen with Denzel Boston. We'll see how that pans out. I think we've already mentioned that my sleeper tackle, Markel Bell from Miami, had a meet a couple of weeks ago. That went really well. Today we also met with James Thompson Jr., the defensive lineman out of Illinois, and then 2 cornerback meetings. Again, I think I've mentioned this one, but always got to say the name. Ephesians Prysock out of Washington. Joyous name. Absolutely joyous name. There's the biblical names in this draft have gone up tenfold, I think. It's we're going to talk about another one later on in this safety class, but yeah, they are doing some mighty fine work. Is there a Leviticus in this draft as well? I can't vaguely feel like there's a Leviticus there somewhere out there, but also
not good timing with everything that's going on in the world in the Holy Land. So that's
no, but yeah, still very good quality name stuff there. And a very interesting one, Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. We've apparently had a non-local visit with the cornerback there. He's getting a lot of pop. He's definitely got a lot of pop over this draft season. So I'm very excited to dive into his tape when we do corners as well.
what do we think about? Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just going to say we also had a pro day dinner with Zachariah Branch, the speedy wide receiver out of Georgia. I had heard tell we might have had other people there. I don't know how true that is, but we definitely did have a dinner with Zachariah Branch. So the wide receiver out of Georgia. So that's an interesting one. He probably fits more of what we're looking for now in terms of receivers. So sorry, yeah, Gav, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say I checked out. Before I said that, what I wanted to say was why do we think Markel Bell is the only tackle so far they've met with? Because he's a big dude, isn't he? He's one of the bigger guys.
Yeah. Did we have a few combine visits with tackles as well, or was that one that was kind of?
Maybe.
I think he's probably one of the last on the list as well, isn't he? He's not a first rounder. He's not a second rounder by any means. He's not a third either. I don't think. You're looking at early day 3, and he's probably one of the last ones that you would say you would take a punt on. Because after that, it kind of falls down.
Yeah, it does kind of drop off a little bit. Yeah, after that.
So it kind of gives me impression that, he's. We're not looking at this first, second rounders at all at tackle.
Which is interesting. Yeah. I mean, when we were talking about the tackles, we were kind of talking about, Monroe Freeling could, fall in this lap here. I've seen Monroe Freeling fly up these boards. Like, I think Mel Kiper had him at 6 at one point. It's just like, whoa, okay. His stock has greatly risen. We've probably got a good eye on him when we did go to the Georgia Pro Day. But yeah, so they're the visits so far.
Just looking at the combine meetings, they met with Caden Proctor, who's the the other enormous one. So they're obviously in the market for a later rounds massive tackle.
Yeah. Well, Caden Proctor might be a first rounder. So we'll.
Do you think so?
I think so. Definitely not going to be any later than second. Right. Definitely not.
I don't think. I think you're looking at him as a guard first rounder. I'm not sure you're looking at it as a tackle first round. I'm not sure.
I mean, we need to. That's not an arm length thing, is it? I was just going to say the combine arm length scandal rolls on as Spencer Farno's arms have suddenly become nearly an inch longer. His pro day. What is going on? Are we going to have to go into measuring tape corner here and just kind of find out what exactly is going on? I mean, it's a great excuse for men everywhere, isn't it? It was the combine guy who measured it initially.
How we got to the 21st century and still can't measure
arms?
Yeah, where's the technology for that? You could make a mint off that if you can. I mean, tailors across the world would be livid, or would they be happy? I don't know. Which tailors are doing it for the love of the game, I guess, with the tape and. Anyway, what the hell am I talking about? Anyway,
the other thing I just wanted to mention is that Mason's on a 1-year deal, so he's a free agent in 2027. So they could be thinking about replacing him, in 27.
Could well do. But a lot of visits to go, a lot of time to go. We'll see how it all goes. A lot of the pro days have happened now. I'm trying to think if there's any that are still. Have Indiana had their pro day yet? I haven't seen a lot of massive buzz about that.
No, I haven't. No, I don't think it had. I think it usually goes for another a week and a half, and then dies down at the start of April, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I no doubt will be seeing Fernando Mendoza across my timeline. Very shortly when that all pops off. But there's quite a lot of intriguing Indiana prospects to look forward to with that anyway. So we'll see who else we talk to there. Right. Unless there's any other business that I have forgotten about or you boys wanted to talk about, are we ready to tackle the safeties?
Let's
Do
go.
it.
Let's do it. Right. As I said, as I alluded to, this safety class is getting a lot of buzz. And after having a good look at it, yeah, I can see why this safety class has got a lot of buzz. I think there's just a ton of great athletes. You know, they absolutely blew away the combine, the safeties that were there. Just some absolutely awesome athleticism on show. A lot of downhill running, absolute take your head off sort of guys in this draft, but a lot of intelligent guys in there as well. I think it's just a really, really good group that I think you could probably find talent in just about every round of this draft at safety and get a good piece there. I know Gav, you haven't had a deep dive into this, so I'm intrigued to kind of get your thoughts on general vibes of having a look around these prospects as you look through them. But Tom, what did you make of this safety class?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Really, you could get whatever you wanted. I think from the different kind of safeties you can get into this draft, and you can go from round 1 to 7 and get a role player. You can get the actual elite class, and then you can get just a role player in a scheme. So yeah, I really like this class a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just, as I say, just talent at every level that you look, and you said about. I think there's a lot of versatility within this group as well, just in terms of like general chess pieces that could be moved around here and there. It's such an open role safety at times, and I think these guys make the absolute most of it. Just kind of off the top, we've got just having a look at the consensus big board here for safeties, and I believe there's currently, going off the mock draft database one at least, we've maybe got about 3 first round safeties that we're potentially looking at there. Would you agree, Tom, that there's 3 first rounders? Because I personally would believe that.
Yeah. I think some are getting a bit too high, but definitely 2 of them in the latter part of the first round, I think, is where it needs to be. But yeah, 2 are definitely getting a lot more hype than I think they should be in this draft. But yeah, definitely should be 3. And then you've got what in the first 2 days, you've got probably a good 7 or 8 in the first 2 days.
Yeah. I think the back of that third round could be absolutely littered with safety talent there.
Yeah.
That could be really, really intriguing. Right, let's just dive straight into it then, shall we? Let's kick it off with the one and only, probably the guy that is consensus number 1 safety for a lot of people in this draft, and that is Caleb Downs out of Ohio State, formerly of Alabama. Played at Alabama in 2023. Junior, 21 years of age, 6 foot, 206 pounds. Now you hear the surname Downs, and you think to yourself, where have I heard that before? How about Josh Downs? This is the brother of the Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Josh Downs, and his father and uncle also played in the NFL. So bloodlines are plenty already for Caleb Downs there. His production has just been consistently great throughout the last 3 years. Absolutely fantastic across the board in terms of production. He is just a cool and calm processor. I think he might very well be the best processor in this entire class, particularly in the run game. Just absolute precision with his vision downfield. Real first down preventer who can wrap you up and keep you down. Really nice tackling technique as well. Comes downhill, really good speed. Disrupts screenplays as well. You love to see that. Zero touchdowns given up in his time at OSU. I had down here as well. People just seem to be scared to throw the ball towards him because they just know that he is just an absolutely fantastic athlete and player. I alluded to versatility within this class. This guy is absolutely one of those chess pieces that you can just put here, there, and everywhere in the defense. Couple of knocks, 20th percentile arm length, which obviously isn't particularly ideal. Hasn't played a ton as a single high safety. Yeah, has played it a ton, but not an absolute amount of single high safety looks there. So you might not necessarily, particularly early on, be relying on him in that respect if you've got that system. Can at times overcommit and kind of fluff some tackles. I think there were some prime examples of that in the Texas tape that I watched. I haven't actually got his missed tackle rate on here. I'll have a look at that in a sec on PFF if anybody else has got that. He's not, when he's called upon, he's not like the most electric pass rusher when he has to come down and try and take to the quarterback. But run game is definitely his kind of his bread and butter in terms of his downhill running. He is electric. He's exciting. That elite processing you absolutely love. I do think he probably goes for the home run hit too much with his tackling, but you get a coach to calm that down and kind of help him sort that out. Then what you've got here is an absolute all pro of a safety. He is going to be an absolute gem for whoever brings him in. You can see why the consensus is so high on him. He's currently number 9 on this board. I think he's an absolute get in the first. At one point, I thought he was just going to end up being my Red Star. The very boring Red Star choice of the number 1 overall guy of the class. But in the end, there was somebody else that I did really like and wanted to do that. But he's even got punt return acumen as well, which you love to see. He's just intelligent, versatile, physical. You love to see it. Ton of awards, 2-time unanimous All-American, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year this year, 2-time Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year. He was even SEC Freshman of the Year when he played that one year at Alabama. He obviously moved because Nick Saban retired, and so he decided to put himself into the transfer portal to go to Ohio State from there. Yeah, Lott Trophy winner, Jim Thorpe Award Trophy winner this year as well, and obviously a former national champion with one Will Howard at quarterback. I absolutely love this guy. I think he's going to be superb in the NFL. I just really hope he doesn't fall to a division rival, the Bengals or, the Ravens can't take him, surely. God, not with Carl Hamilton. That's unfair. But even the Bengals would be just like, oh no, like that's Bengals at 10 is a big worry for me for whoever might take him. But +1 for me. I think he's fabulous and absolutely deserving of being the number 1 guy in this class.
Nice. Yeah, just before Tom goes, I'll just let you know that it's he's been pretty consistent on a kind of 10-11% missed tackle rate 3 years in college. And you can see
he's not horrible. Yeah.
That's not bad. Consistent at least. And you can see from the grades, I mean, it's been super, super consistent. Defensive grade, the run defense grade, the tackling grade, and the coverage grade. The only thing that's been a bit patchy is the pass rush. So, he's a free safety by looking at the sort of production. But, he's the one name that you kind of heard defensively in this draft 2 years ago, like before, maybe 1 year ago, before kind of, Bain and these other dudes have risen up. So do you think is he the blue chip? Obviously safety being a kind of slightly devalued position in the draft. Do you think he is possibly the best defender in the draft, and it's just that those edge rushers are going to go higher and maybe?
Well, this is the thing. He's coming from a team that also has Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, who, he's just come from this absolutely fantastic team. And I forgot to mention the 3 of them. I kind of touched on it with the Arvell Reese talk the other week, but the 3 of them, the way they flow together is just a thing of beauty at times. The way they've got that moving. But yeah, Downs is definitely one of those, for me, proper blue chip. Put him on any team and he's going to thrive sort of players, I think.
Because he doesn't have the measurables, does he? But I guess safety's not necessarily a measurables position. Just looking here, he's 28 percentile height, 48 percentile weight, 13 percentile wingspan, 10% arm length you mentioned. And that's the only measurables. He didn't do any kind of any of the drills or any of the testing at the combine.
Yeah, I don't think Ohio State's Pro Day has happened yet. I imagine he's going to do a fair bit there. But sorry, Tom. Yeah.
So I'm going to be boring, and he is going to be my Red Star.
The
Red Star.
So this guy is basically a pedigree, isn't he? He's what you want. He literally was 5-star consensus 5-star. He was number one from out of high school. He was number one safety in the nation coming out of high school. He went into Alabama, first team All Pro with a few. That PFF, I think they put him on All American as well, freshman of the year, and then he just every year he's just shown his pedigree every time. So I absolutely love him. I think the problem with it, and the problem with safety as well, and it's been done how many years now, where you've got your Malachi Starks, you've got your Brian Branch, you've got your Carl Hamilton. They seem to slip for some reason, and he is in my top 2 defensive players, and he's not number 2. He, to me, he is. I think, as you say, you can overthink it with a lot of things. With his measurables, you can overthink it and say he's not the ideal size. But you just look at him, look at his performances over the last 3 years, even in high school, and he is just awesome at the safety position. Anywhere you put him, he will do a job. Yes, he's better in some places than others, but you put him in that position, he would do a job at quite a high level. And I think that's another thing, because he's always been that high level. Even if he dips down, it's still very good. So, to me, he should be a top 5 player in the draft, but I know he won't be. And what you said earlier around Bengals, I think it's going to happen. I think he will go to the Bengals, and we will be playing him regularly every season.
That's his season, I think.
Yeah. It's. I mean, even his coverage ability. I think last year he was 55 QB rating against when targeted. So he just has everything that I want from a safety.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Sorry, his passer rating allowed is 47.9, which PFF got as 842nd. Surely they need to change that to first. Like, that's the wrong way around, right?
Oh, I think there are a couple of people that are better than that.
Right, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's I'm. If we were that high of needing a safety, which I don't think now we are, with the getting Brisker, I would be banging the table for going up and getting him. But that's just me. I know there's positional value that always comes at the safety position, but so yeah, I'm a +2 on him. I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him.
Yeah, no, he is fantastic. Absolutely, and as you say, yeah, it is just positional value. But if he gets out of the top 10, I don't know what we're doing. Like, what's happening there? Like, yeah, obviously, yeah, as I say, still got to see some of the testing and see if he works at his day and everything. But
does he need to? That's the question.
Yeah,
does he need to?
There is that element as well. I guess when you don't, people start to kind of go like, but as long as he answers it to the people that matter as to why he doesn't do it, then that's all.
Did Hamilton? He didn't test much, did he, at all? And that's why he went lower than people thought he was going to go.
Oh, maybe.
Sure, he didn't test.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, and he slipped. So I think, it's even for these top prospects, sometimes it's good to do it.
From what I've seen of Downs, yes, the missed tackle rate may be a tick higher than you'd expect, but the solid tackling, I thought, wrap up, form tackler. It's not a guy that's going to like fly like Shamarko Thomas used to do, like a Tomahawk missile fired from a rocket launcher, like just straight at people. No, he's going in, he's form tackling, he's grabbing people's legs, which is what you want from your safety. The clue's in the name, right? He's just not going to let people, get past him on whiffs. So that's huge, I think, which backs up the rest of his kind of playmaking and tackles for losses that he gets with just solid foundation of tackling.
Yeah, and I think that missed tackle rate is just a little bit higher than the normal because, as I say, I do think he just kind of goes for the big highlight hit a bit too often, and then can end up a little bit looking a little bit silly with it. And yeah, as I say, yeah, you watch that Texas game, you saw some real examples of that in there. But
So you think he
yeah.
does fly around? Because what I
not fly around, just I think the moment gets to him a little bit, and I think he kind of thinks that he kind of remembers he's Caleb Downs, but then he has to remember that he's also human at times.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, you get that calm down, and that missed tackle rate is going to go right down to what you would expect, and it's just going to add to him just being such an elite player.
Where do we think he ranks in the pantheon of recent safeties drafted? Is Carl Hamilton the best guy recently?
Oh, if are you talking just purely prospect wise when you
Yeah, prospect.
yeah.
I think, I think he's probably the best from what the caliber of what he's done out of the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, Carl Hamilton, although he played a lot faster, he always had that speed concern. But yeah, I just think Downs and Starks last year, I really liked him coming out, but again, I don't think he's had as much as impact this year that I thought he would have had. But yeah, I think Downs is up there for me over the recent years.
Yeah, I'm just looking. So it's Starks, Tyler Nubin was the top safety taken the year before.
God,
Tyler Nubin, where did he go?
Brian Branch, second round, 45.
It's definitely down to Hamilton, isn't it? I think from recent years.
Is there anyone else? I mean, who was the guy from Clemson that we all thought was going to be this amazing chess piece that didn't work out?
Oh, how many years ago was that now?
2019. He's still Simpsons. Yeah, so hang on, I'll find it. Yeah, so Carl Hamilton was taken 14th, and that was seen as a bit of a fall, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, Dax
and that was to do with him not testing and
Yeah.
the speed concern.
And where are the Ravens picking this year? Oh, 14. It won't be
can't
Downs,
keep
but
picking them.
No, but well, who's going to stop them really? But yeah, well, the Bengals are probably on this occasion. But yeah, it probably is going to be Cincinnati. I'm trying to think of the teams ahead of them and who. There's a lot of desperate teams that need a lot of different things, but who's really safety hungry around that sort of area? I
Chiefs,
think the Bengals
maybe?
are probably the most. Chiefs, maybe. Yeah. I mean, they're getting
they've lost some pieces.
losing some bits and pieces. So
Isaiah Simmons is the guy I was thinking of.
Oh yeah.
Where is he? The Panthers now? Or is he?
Was he flirting with the Steelers at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
There was rumours, but I don't know what's happened to him. It didn't work out. I think this is. I'm just here. No, that's not it. Where did he? Is he 2019? Anyway, so whatever. It seems that Caleb Downs is the best, one of two best safety prospects in the last decade, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Right, Tom. Over to the next man, and I'm hoping that you will say one of my favourite facts of this entire draft when you do this. You might not. I don't know, but if you don't, then I'll mention it. But
I haven't got any interesting facts. Damn it. Okay, I am going to go over to Oregon and go for Dylan, and I'm probably going to butcher his surname. Thieneman.
I think it is Thieneman. Yes. Yeah.
So, he is I got 6 foot. I got a 205.
I got 201. I don't know if that's I think that's.
I need to have a look again.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. 201. Again, not probably the most ideal sizes in height for safety, but tested really well at the combine. And I think from the start, let's go from the start. This guy was probably in the early stages, you're looking at from 40 to 50 on the big boards. He was the next guy up from Downs. Well, it has been for the last 6 months to a year. He is he was always going to be the best next best thing. So you've got Downs, who was on this elite scale. Then you've got Dylan, that was always a little bit behind. Well, the step behind, should we say? And over the course of the last 2 months, things have just ballooned for him. So he had got a lot more attention, especially from DJ, I think it was. And then came the combine, and he tested like a beast. I mean, he got 4.35 on the 40, which is elite for a safety. He got 41 41-inch vertical, which again is elite for a safety. So he's gone from this step down to basically now being in the top 20 in a lot of mock drafts, looking at him as this top 20 pick. Now, I like him, and he again is one of these guys who has elite instincts and can process a game really, really well. He can identify different formations and route combos and stuff like that. He's a guy who can play in quite a lot of an alignment as well, so you can put him in light with downs, the versatility. He's really he has a good downhill kind of trigger. And he's got this really, and one of the biggest things for him is his high motor and his high effort, and he's always there, and he's a reliable tackler. I haven't seen the missed tackle rate, but I think it would be better than Downs, but I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, 8.3 it is from this last season.
So his missed tackle rate. Yeah, so he's a really reliable tackler in that sense. His ball skills have been pretty good over the course of him of his college career. So he's got 8 interceptions, and just the tracking of the ball. He shows a really good skill of just of any playmaker. But as I said earlier, I think the big thing about him is his effort. He is just an ultimate competitor in that sense. He will always want to go get the ball. He's the find ball, get ball kind of guy. Where is his weaknesses? I think, and you can say this to quite a few of them. I think sometimes they can be over aggressive with their pursuit, so they can totally miss the lane, and they can over pursuit. His coverage skills against more of your trickier slot kind of guys, I think he'll have problems with. I think your tight ends and people like that, I think he's fine with. I just think sometimes that kind of faster slot, I think he may struggle with. And also sometimes his when he gets onto blocks, I think he sometimes gets stuck on blocks basically. So, but if you look at his tackle rate at Purdue before he was at Oregon, he's just a tackle machine, and I really do like him. But I do feel his hype is getting more than what he is. I like him at the back end of the first round, not in the middle. So I'm at value, even though I think he's 20 or something around there on the
19 currently.
Yeah. So I'm at value with him, but it doesn't mean I don't like him. It just means that I think he's being overhyped in a lot of ways.
Interesting.
No, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, it's 19 on the board here, but I've got some people taking him at 12 to Dallas.
Just looking at his snap share by position, I mean, he's got almost double the amount of box snaps to free safety, but he's got a significant amount of free safety and also a significant amount of slot. So he's obviously a versatile guy that can move around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he absolutely is. I really like him. Like, the problem I had first and foremost with Thieneman though is that I watched the Indiana game first, and that was rough. That there was some moments in that game that were not good. Like, he gets demolished in the on the goal line at one point by, I can't remember if it's Black or Hemby, who kind of runs through him, and that was worrying. And then there's a tackle where again, I think it's Omar Khan. That would be worrying. Omar Cooper sheds him really easily.
You've made that mistake before.
I have, yeah. When we get to Omar Cooper, the wide receiver, that's going to be a nightmare for me. Yeah, watching that Indiana game first, which I did, was like, okay, they've seen this guy's testing and it's great. So what's going on here? Watched a bit more tape of it, and the more I watched, I was like, okay, I understand what this guy is. He's a heat-seeking missile, hits like thunder, has some clutch plays in him. I watched the Penn State game, and he gets the game-winning interception in that, which is fantastic. As I say, super fluid in his movement. Yeah, just as you say, overcommits every so often. Yeah, as I've noted it down as well here, the block shedding definitely needs work, particularly against bigger players. You take that Indiana game out, and I think this guy just had an unbelievable season. And again, a guy full of accolades, first team All American. Now, the fun fact that I was going to say, and I've been waiting this whole draft class to talk about this. And I think, in particular, Gav, I think you're going to love this. So his teammate, Bryce Betcher at Oregon, he and Thieneman go by a duo nickname. We've had plenty of nicknames in this draft, but we haven't had a duo with a nickname. Dylan Thieneman and Bryce Betcher go by the nickname of the Caucasian Collision Unit.
Nice. I don't know how catchy that is, but
no, it's quite.
They wear T-shirts that say CCU on them, and that's what it means. So this is already branded as well.
I mean, it's more of a descriptive kind of nickname rather than a kind of metaphorical one, isn't it? It's pretty on the nose.
Caucasian Collision is a fantastic combination of words there. So obviously, we're going to talk about Bryce Betcher in the linebacker class as well. So I can't wait to talk about the other half of the CCU. And I do sincerely hope that they get drafted together as well, wherever they go. I love Thieneman. As I say, it took a bit of a rough start, but after that, I really saw where his value is. And I know maybe he is getting a little bit of overhyped a touch, but I still think +1 for me. I really, really do. Downs for me is definitely number one, but Thieneman is locked in at number two as safety. And again, a guy that I almost red starred because I thought, I just really, really love the play. But just a fantastic player that doesn't need a ton of work here and there, but not really much else to say. Not much to add on to what Tom said there. Really, really good.
Great. Let's take us on to the next dude.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a third potential round one safety in the conversation, and we're going to go to a place that has really become DBU as of late. We're going to go to Holy Toledo. We're going to talk about Emmanuel McNeil Warren, 6'4", 201 pounds, senior out of Toledo. So 6'4", you love that. We're getting a bit taller with our safeties here. He was the highest rated PFF safety in this class from 2025 of the 2026 safeties. He shows a ton of physicality. You saw a lot of that in his tape, particularly in the Kentucky game. He gets a forced fumble in that one. He has an awesome goal line stop that he just uses brute force on. You really, really love to see that real physical player who's got a very good vision for the ball as well. I thought his judgment was really good. He gets sticky in coverage as well, which I really like to see. I think technically, Emmanuel McNeil Warren is pretty much all there. I really just thought he was completely with it in all aspects technically. I don't think he's particularly explosive. I do think he can build his speed up nicely though. I don't, out of his initial kind of start, he's not like super explosive, but you could kind of put that down to patience and just awareness of where everything is. Because then he gets into a second gear pretty quickly, and you'd love to see that. And as I say, it's average explosiveness really. The combine testing wasn't amazing for him. It's particularly when you have a look at guys like Thieneman, as we just said. Obviously, when you're at Toledo, you pay a little bit of competition tax there. Kentucky was probably about as good as it got competition wise with Toledo this year. Can't remember if there was anybody else that was particularly standoutish in terms of competition, but his long speed isn't particularly great. So I think speedier receivers are probably going to kind of take full advantage of him. Weirdly, I don't have too many cons about him, but I'm not like blown away by him, and I don't think I was particularly blown away by the other Toledo DB that came out recently, Quinion Mitchell. I maybe eat my words slightly on that one from a couple of years ago, but I remember not being like so overawed by him. But man, you can't fault the physicality of this guy. Really, really love that, and for me, that kind of solidifies first round productivity for me. So he's at value for me. I think the back end of the first round is a really good place for EMW. Everything feels really good. Nothing feels super elite. Maybe apart from like his physicality, as I say. But he could have a bit of he could have one of the widest ranges of floor to ceiling within here. First round is certainly high, but I do believe in him in that respect. I just think his technical prowess will put him in fine stead for that. I'm not pounding the table, but I do like him as an at value end of round oneer.
He had some eye-watering tackles from what I saw. Some of the hits that he had, especially in pass coverage, were big old hits. So yeah, I'm quite similar. I really like his run support, and his physicality in the run game is pretty. It's probably it is his game basically. He loves the hard hit. Although he's quite big, as in he's 6'3", 6'4". He is got a smaller frame. He's quite he's quite long in that sense. He hasn't got his frame isn't filled out massively, so I don't know how that would if he can do the same thing what he did in college and it had the same kind of result in the NFL. I don't know.
Same weight as Thieneman, 201, yeah.
So yeah, he is quite a thinner guy, but yeah, as I say, I did like his explosiveness. I thought once he gets going, once he hits, he hits. He has some versatility. He's got some play making skills, although he's not going to be a true centre fielder at safety. He's not bad. I mean, he's got 5 interceptions, career interceptions, 9 forced fumbles, 14 PBUs. So he's not bad, but I think the run game is where he's going to earn his money. So yeah, as you say, and again, with the way he plays, sometimes he gets over aggressive and he over pursues and stuff like this. Coverage, he's not your true man coverage kind of guy, and and I don't think that's his game. I don't think that'll be his game in the NFL. Against some of these kind of quick slots, I don't think he will be able to cover too well. But yeah, I liked him, and I'm at value as well at the back end of the round one. I think he is probably up there in the sense of the best run stopping safety that you want, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quite like him.
Yeah, a 15.5 percent missed tackle rate. So quite a bit higher than the first two guys we talked about. But yeah, that kind of leans into that over aggression that you can see sometimes. Absolutely fine player. I think I might have hyped myself up a little bit. I think I did the thing I did with Nick Imamori last year, where I might have hyped him up a little bit too much in my head, and then ultimately fell a tiny little bit flat. But I mean,
Well, hang on. He's physical Super Bowl champion safety, and that's not bad.
Yeah. So I was wrong, Gav. Okay, but yeah. And I could well be wrong about McNeil Warren. Very interested to see where he kind of lands. Whether he's gets partnered up with Quinion Mitchell again, potentially at
Right.
Toledo. I don't know.
According to PFF, he's more of a box safety. Is that would you agree with that on the tape?
Yeah. I think he played a lot more in the box than anywhere else. But yeah, definitely.
Because he seems he's tall and not that built out. So he's kind of built like a free safety, you would think.
Yeah.
So is that like a little bit of a contradiction or something?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting to with his game is the run game and being involved, but his physical body isn't what you would expect in that.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and
hits harder than what you would expect. With the guy of that frame,
and I think that's where the worry is with him: is can he do the same? Because as you say, it was Toledo what he was at. He wasn't at the highest level. Can he do the same in the NFL? And if he hits some of these big running backs or some of these big tight ends, is he going to have the same effect? Or is he just going to bounce off?
I was just looking at kind of if there was anybody like in the sort of frame of Kentucky, and I think Kentucky's probably as good as you're getting with some of the teams that he's playing this season. But I mean, he had a 93.9 defensive grade against Kentucky, so like really showed out against probably the best opposition he saw all year. So whether you see that as, oh God, then what was it like against the worst teams if that's his highest one, or you just see him going up against some of the better opposition and really dominating. So you'd love to see that. Yeah, he had 9 tackles in that game. So
missed 3 games this season. Do you know, was there something niggling him? Or?
What was the injury?
They weren't all together. They were in 3 different. The first game of the season, the penultimate game of the season, and the game in the middle. So maybe just little nicks and things.
Yeah,
nothing came up in there.
No, I didn't see anything come up. I thought he did play the first game. So I thought Kentucky was the first game of the season.
It was the first game he played. Oh no, sorry, that's week 0. So he didn't play the preseason. Sorry, my mistake. My mistake. So he missed two games. Missed 2 games.
3 games.
Only week 0. Honestly, it's one of the weird things about college I never quite got. Why is there a week 0? Let's say
we get it in Ireland. That's why.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's fair enough.
But one thing I did kind of, and because Toledo now has got this reputation over the past few years, I kind of wanted to look at their coaching and see who's, and apparently they're new this year. So I don't know where the old ones have gone, the DB coaches, because they've got a new defensive coordinator in this year and also a new safety, a DB coach. So, but they've continued what has been done for the last 2 or 3 years. So I don't know where the old ones think they've got a better job somewhere because of what they've produced. But yeah, it's interesting that you get a quite small school who's having a reputation of bringing these DBs into the NFL now, and it's continuing even with new staff. So yeah, it's good for Toledo.
I think what you've done there is you set a challenge for Ran. I think he's going to start doing the deep dive, and when he joins us next, he'll be answering that one for you potentially.
So a small piece of housekeeping. You both add value with McNeil.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, great. Thought so. Just double checking. All right. Cool.
Yes.
One of those good at values. We're like,
his value's about right. This,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. If he's there, and I'm not thinking there's anybody I'm desperate for. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Right, Tom. Where do you want to take us next?
We'll go to LSU, I think, and AJ Halsey. I'm going to go for Halsey.
Yeah, Halsey, yeah, something like
that. He is how many years? How old is he? I haven't got a age.
22. So yeah, I think
22.
he's
4 years. 4 years. Oh yeah, because he did New Mexico, then went to Houston, then for 2 years, and then went to LSU for the final year. He is again another 6-footer. A bit more on the weightier side. I think he was 215 at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
He's what you expect of a safety in regards to his 40-yard dash. He's around the 450, and and I think in a lot of ways, my overall kind of look at AJ is he is Mr. Consistency. I think um, he has really good coverage instincts in zone. I think and he rarely gets caught out of position in a lot of ways. His recognition skills are pretty damn good. In the run game, he is an enforcer. He is explosive, I think, and he consistently kind of finishes what he started. He doesn't keep going. He is like he stops. It doesn't push him back anymore. He has some versatility. I think he's played in a lot of positions. I think he is more of a box more than anything else safety, but he has played, I think, across a lot of positions. Pretty good ball skills. Uh, uh, I read someone, and I think I agree. He with his interceptions, he has like what you expect of a wide receiver hands. Um, he's had like forced fumbles through peanut punching. So it's good overall skills around that as well. I just think he is one of these guys who is consistently I don't think he's top level, but he would always do a job, and he would always be this Mr. Consistency, which I think it goes a long way in the NFL. Where where his weaknesses are, I think man coverage against more quick wide receivers, I think he'll struggle. Um, as I say, I see him more of a box safety, but and I don't know if he will be anything more in the NFL. Because although his recovery speed is okay, it's not elite in any way. And also, I sometimes saw him overcommit when the QB looks one way. He kind of he comes too early, and the QB just basically fools him. But I mean, his QB rating I think's not too bad. I think it's in the 50s, from what I can remember. And yeah, I just think he overall he's probably a good box kind of strong safety kind of guy who will do a job no matter where he is, and he will be in the league for quite some time, I think, because of that, because he's such a reliable guy. So yeah, I can't remember what did I say. Was he on? So he's 58. I think I'm a +1 on him, to be honest, because I like the consistency. I think he hasn't got a lot of errors in his game. It's just that he probably isn't the most athletic, elite, shall we say, elite athletic guy. But yeah,
Interesting. The majority of his snaps seems to be at free safety, but do you think that's a split safety situation, and he's coming downhill?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of alluded to the athleticism there, or kind of lack thereof, and I think that was my biggest problem with watching Halsey, is that I didn't particularly think he did look truly athletic. I think he just lacked fluidity in the hips. I think there was just some, I didn't particularly like his back pedal either. I just thought all of it looked a little bit awkward and iffy, and like there was definitely, watching the A&M tape, there's a really bad change of direction kind of miss there for him to miss Marcel Reed on a big rushing touchdown that A&M had in there. I do think the vision is nice at times. I do see it being a little bit inconsistent. Again, I didn't think the tackling technique was great. I think it was one of these guys. He had a 15.8% missed tackle rate this past year, which isn't great. Obviously, it's around the same area as EMW, but I just think EMW is just more of an athlete in that respect. 8 interceptions in the last couple of years. You love to see that. You said about the forced fumbles as well. I think he is a smart player, certainly, and can get very physical as well. I just felt a little bit cold from him personally. Like he does have a nasty streak to him, but with the lack of real true athleticism, I'm not really on board with it, particularly in the area that he's in. I think I venture the other way, and I've actually gone -1.
Wow.
For AJ Halsey. I do think a lot of that is potentially coachable. It's difficult to kind of coach athleticism, I guess, but some of the hip issues potentially and the backpedaling, I think you could work on that and kind of get him to a nice degree on that, and then you match that up with some of the smarts that you see and some, as you say, some of the consistency that you've seen from him out of college. I think you can get a nice player out of him, but as he is right now, I'm not particularly that high on him. And yeah, he could be a knock for me because I think he is in such a talented class, and maybe in other classes he'd look a bit more favourable. But yeah, I would be more of a kind of, what are we looking at there? Back end of second round. I think I'd be happier with kind of a third round look at Halsey personally. Yeah, just not one that really vibed with me.
Okay.
Did AJ Halsey? There you go. We finally disagreed on one. I was worried for a second we were going to be in lockstep, but yeah, we've given you the division that you want. Cats, probably.
he is one that got interviewed by the Steelers, isn't he? The combine.
Yes, yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think he was he one. I don't know if he interviewed many safeties at the combine. I think he was one of only a few, if we did.
Yeah, I don't remember there being too many. I'll have to get Stephen's excellent graphic up.
I've just got it up actually on the stream. Yeah, so it's got Halsey and Dylan Thieneman. That's it.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did. I did think we talked to Thieneman. So
I think we're because of the hype, we're going to be out on Thieneman unless we take at 21, which
the hype's going to have to die down considerably now, isn't it, for that? So
Caleb Downs as well.
Oh, bloody hell!
Oh, we're not getting him, are we?
That's just one of those ones where they want to meet him in case he becomes available.
Exactly, becomes a Bengal
in 4 years' time.
He's just
that's the other option. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay. So moving on, we'll just keep moving across this board and move down to USC, and let's talk a little bit about Kamari Ramsey, formerly of UCLA, so has stayed on that West Coast. Redshirt junior, 6'202". You want to talk about a relentless motor? That is what Kamari Ramsey has. He is a true engine of a player. You love to see it. Immediate motor I saw on his tape. I believe he had, I didn't know if this was wrong. He have a 3.2% missed tackle rate this last year. I know he didn't do a ton of tackling, but I think he only actually missed like one tackle in 2025. I know he missed time this year as well.
And I've got I can't find 2025, but 2024 he had 15 missed tackles.
Well, yeah, so it's definitely jumped. Yeah, historically it's not been great, but it seemed a lot better in the games that he did play in 2025.
Can confirm was one missed tackle, 3.2% tackle rate in 25, 20% tackle rate in 24. So maybe that is
an insane jump.
Or did they just put him out of the way so he couldn't get a tackle position?
There is that as well. Yeah, because it is a lot less tackling attempts as well.
Wait a minute, he had in 2025 he had 20 tackles.
Yeah, so considerably less.
half of what he had the year before. Yeah.
But on that half, he's done very well for himself, I think. There, and you saw some really nice stuff there, like Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love, absolutely bursting away, surely going to be a touchdown. There's Kamari Ramsey chasing after him. Unbelievable effort shown there to stop him from getting that touchdown. Love to say that. Great amount of speed. I think he communicates well as well. You see a lot of him, communicating across that back line, which you really, really want to see out of your safeties. Another guy with, I think, great vision and awareness. The big problem with him is the injury red flags. Hurt in each of the last 3 seasons. His this past season was ended early by a knee injury as well, which is such a shame for this guy, I think. And also has length concerns. 6 foot again, not ideal, and 202 still not the ideal body type, definitely. And I think again another guy who's tackling needs some refinement. Can be a bit that motor can lead to some over aggressive tackles, as we're going to see a common theme throughout this class. But yeah, definitely the biggest red flags for me out of Kamari Ramsey were those injuries. Without those, I think he could absolutely be a round 2 sort of a safety. I think he's smart, decisive, relentless, really, really nice traits. It's just, those injuries are going to catch up, and you really hope that, he's been hurt in each of those last 3 years. You really don't want that to continue going on into the NFL. That's where it keeps him consensus wise, and I think that's where I keep him too. So I'm at value with Kamari Ramsey, a great player who's just been hampered by those durability concerns.
99.3 passer rating allowed. Not brilliant.
Not brilliant. No.
So yeah, and this is another one where we're kind of going to disagree. I'm -1 on this guy, just for them reasons. The pass rating he is way too high. His missed tackle rating in 2024, although he did improve quite a lot, but I think that's a reduction in tackles in a massive way. I think he only had like 2 run stopping tackles as well in the whole year. So he struggles to shed blocks as well in the run game. I mean, the run game I don't think is his. I don't know if it's his game, but yeah, I'm just, and the durability is kind of the icing on the cake, where that he just hasn't proven that he can make it for a season. So yeah, I'm -1 on him. I'm not great on. I do see the upsides in a lot of ways. As say, he is a fluid mover, and his ball awareness, although as the pass rating kind of is seen, it's not great, but his ball awareness in some of the plays is really good. I think this guy is more of a 3rd, 4th rounder than a 2nd rounder for me.
Well, I think definitely with those injury. I mean, he's 76 on the board right now, and I think that's probably about right given those injury concerns. I think it's just a guy who, as I say, I like my high effort, high motor guys, and I think that's really what caught my attention with Ramsey in particular. But can certainly see the concerns. He definitely needs some work.
What would you say his speciality? Because looking at his grades, his run defense and his coverage, both sort of similarly average. What stands out to me is the tackling grade. Seems like he's a good tackler. But despite those missed tackle rates,
well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's all a bit of a weird one with how different it is. But when he does connect, it's really good. There is a certain element of physicality to him as well. But I just think his motor is the best thing you're going to love about him. He's going to get 110% out of him in each game. What you get from that 110% may vary, but you're certainly going to get it.
What was your grade again, Mark? Sorry?
I was at value with him. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Should we move on to the next guy?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Penn State and Zachy. Is it Zachy?
Zachy Wheatley. Yes.
Zachy seems like 5 years old, doesn't it? Zachy. Kind of thing. But yeah, Zachy Wheatley. He is, I got 6'2", maybe 6'3", I'm not sure, and 203 pounds, I think he's got. Went to the combine, I think. Did he get? Yeah, I think he went.
Yep.
I got 440, which is pretty impressive. Again, this is another one where you're looking at a very athletic safety. He is an older prospect, so he redshirted his first year in 2001.
2001. God, he's old.
2001. No,
Redshirted before he
2021.
was
Yeah, I was going
born.
to say 2021. Then he didn't see massive amount. He was in rotation in 22, again in 23. Then he came out in 24 and broke out. Then and then in 25 again, had a good season. So he will be 24, I think, by the start of the season.
Yeah, he's 24 just a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I was there we go. So an older guy, but a very athletic guy, and a guy who is your kind of true center fielder in that sense. He is your side to side guy. He's your really good recovery speed guy. His processing skills of recognizing plays, I think, is really good. And he doesn't take the bait too much with regards to QBs. He's pretty good physicality and downhill trigger. So he's not too bad in that game. I think he's really good in the screen game as well, and he's got real high speed pursuit. Outside of that, he's got massive special team value. He over his course of his career, I think he's had like 446 special team snaps. So massive value there as well. And considering this guy, you're looking at the third or fourth, probably near enough fourth round for this guy. Special team value is a good bonus to have. Where is his weaknesses? Tackling. He has this tendency to go for ankles, and kind of in that sense miss tackles, rather than be strong in the tackle. So there's that. Play strength, although he is functional, I think he can get stuck on blocks quite a lot as well. Again, he's 24, so older kind of individual, but if you're looking at, he's not the 25, 26 that we're seeing in a lot of other areas. So yeah, I really like him. I'm a +1 on him. I think as a kind of true kind of center fielder, he does the job really well, and he has, as I say, really good recovery bursts, and would be really good in that the pass game. So yeah, I'm quite good. I'm quite big on him actually.
Gavin Marshall, I would like you for Mike Farrell to line up a red star drop, please.
Red star.
And then I would like you to reload and give me the same red star drop, please.
Red star.
I absolutely love this guy. He nailed it pretty much there with the analysis there, Tom. Just as you said, had a great combine, really nice athletic numbers all round. Physical tackler, wins head on against people, which I saw a lot of people struggle in this class with winning head on tackles against people, but Wheatley was not doing that. Yes, he has had previously bad missed tackle rates, particularly in 24, but it did improve in 2025. So you can see that there is a coachable element to him. Certainly, definitely an older prospect, as you say, 24 years of age. But I'm not getting put off by that at all. Can absolutely rocket towards a QB. There's a great play that, even though it ends up as a touchdown, he is absolutely launching himself towards Julian Sayin of Ohio State. I cannot figure out how the hell it was a touchdown in the end, because Wheatley has just absolutely launched himself towards him. It's unbelievable movement. Another big communicator you see on the back end, fluid hip work, 0 penalties in his career. You love to see that. Really, really clean play from him. The thing that pushed me over the edge to make him a red star, I saw that he had 1 interception this year. I had to see what it was. What a catch against Iowa! Just plucked it one hand out of the air to get it. It is an absolutely amazing interception. Absolutely go watch the Iowa tape and see that interception if you can. Yeah, he needs to refine some of that tackling technique. Certainly needs to wrap up a little bit more. Can react late at times, particularly when it's play action. I think that's where the vision sort of lets him down a little bit in that area. But Matt, I just loved what I was seeing. Certainly, yeah, the stock's going to be hampered a little bit with the age, and it's why I can't quite go to +2 with him. But I'm a very, very strong +1, would be a 1.5 if it was a thing. He's athletic, physical, dynamic. I think he could just slot in and go from day one on a team. I would love to pick up this guy with one of those third round picks. I would 100% be on board with taking him back into the third if he's there. Absolutely.
Not a measurables guy, is he? I mean, he's
No.
tall, but arm length, weight, is down. So
yeah, no, but he plays. I do think he plays a little bit bigger than what you get on that with him. I mean, I had him listed at 200 on the dot, so yeah, definitely weight wise, a little bit of a drop, but he may have dropped that a little bit for the combine. But yeah, he definitely has the physicality to play bigger than what he actually is, which you love to see.
Where's he projected to go? What's his consensus?
He is currently not even
87.
87. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean that's ideal for me.
So is this a guy you think the Steelers should be targeting? Because obviously they've got Brisker, so they'd have two Penn State safeties if they wanted to go that way. But and Porter as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Former Litany Lions backfield.
If you'd have told me before this whole process that I would have red starred two Penn State guys by now, I would have laughed at you. Like, I after seeing Penn State this past season, I've been like, "Are you sure?" And now deny Dennis Sutton and Zakee Wheatley, I'm just like, "Oh hell yeah!" Like, this is my jam, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I'd pick up Wheatley in a heartbeat. I think he'd be an amazing. If Brisker's one concussion away from saying goodbye, then Wheatley would be a lovely little fill in there, certainly.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a nice piece to put into the Steelers as it is now.
You're saying he's much more of a free safety kind of cat, right?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Got good range, ground coverer, sees the future. That dude sounds like from what you've said, which is I like these. What I find is generally in the draft that there's a lot of box guys up high, and then there's a couple of free safeties. Usually, there's sort of I find they're harder to find, the free safeties. So you've got to nab one. You need a good one, and the Steelers have got a pretty good one right now, but they could. They've definitely not where they were. I like Ramsey. He's a physical player. I don't think he's the cerebral player that Fitzpatrick was.
Yeah,
very different. So where do you think Wheatley is? Do you think he's more the sort of cerebral guy or is it just an instinct thing, or what do you say his key skill is?
I think cerebral is a very good way to put it for him. I feel, I think that's it. I think that's the nail on the head there for me personally.
Sees the future.
Yeah, I think he can do, certainly. I think play action, it can be a bit rough, and maybe he needs to kind of play that a little bit better. Certainly saw that in some of the tape I saw, particularly Ohio State. But other than that, I think he reads things really well.
I also think he's got value you can put him anywhere in the backfield as well, not just you can put him anywhere basically, and he will put everything into it because of his speed and athleticism.
Right.
So although I think he's better as in the center as a free safety, I think you could put him anywhere.
He had his pro day, I think it was either today or yesterday, and he beat his broad jump from the combine, which was already massively impressive. But apparently had a bit of a lesser 40, which surprised some people. That's I don't know how much you can read into that, but in terms of the athlete that we've already seen, 100%.
What
But
was
as I said, his floor is raised just because he's got so much special team value as well. So he's not just you can at least get that out of him because he's had so much experience in special teams.
Yeah, I checked that out on the stream earlier. Yeah, he had quite significant special team snaps like 2 or 3 years ago, didn't he? He was all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in here with something that happened in the last hour that's come through, because I think this came out after we talked about the visits. The Steelers
hit
are
that
meeting.
horn, babe. Let's dance.
Oh,
Let's go.
we're getting the full thing.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Steelers.
Oh, we get. I don't think we needed the full news drop. There we go.
Oh, I wasn't sure how much of a news drop, breaking news it was.
Well, I think it might excite both of you in this to know that the Steelers are meeting with North Dakota State quarterback Cole Payton tonight following his pro day.
Hit that horn, babe. Let's dance.
We sent our QB coach, didn't we, to see him?
We did, yes, yeah. And,
That is very exciting. Very excited about that.
Apparently, he's off to Pittsburgh for a workout. I've seen in this one as well. So
A lefty.
How do you figure that one out? Where do you rank Howard versus Payton in the? Where do you put that? Is that just a move to replace Connor Hayward? Maybe, which is what I was saying they should do. So maybe
Exactly. Yeah. Is it to see what he can do?
see what he can do. Yeah, fullback / fourth tight end / fourth running back / emergency quarterback. I could buy that.
Yeah, definitely.
Sai is going to hate the idea of getting a lefty, isn't he? Like, he hates left-handed quarterbacks. He said he was done with them. Oh no!
Hey, it means the blind side is a bit more better protected if he's a lefty, though.
Oh, that's very true. Actually, yeah, good point. Might not have to worry too much about that other tackle spot. Yeah, no, that's a very, very good point you raised there. Yeah, cool. Okay, no, yeah, just wanted to bring that up while I saw that coming through. That's very nice. Like that a lot. Okay, so going from things that I liked a lot to this guy. Genesis Smith out of Arizona. He's a junior. I haven't actually got his age. Don't know if he's a bit of a younger, because he's a junior. So I imagine
he's a junior, so he's only 21.
Yeah. 6'2", 202. Now I kind of got excited looking into Genesis Smith to begin with because the athletic testing was fantastic. He had a 99th percentile vert, elite vertical jump in there, and the rest of the testing was pretty nice as well. He's had very nice career production throughout. He's another versatile piece. So you see the put around where you like, and in zone coverage in particular, I think he's got some very nice vision to track some of the balls that are coming down. That was where it sort of stopped and froze. He has a 19.8 missed tackle rate from 2025. His tackling technique is atrocious. It's really poor. He is not an asset in the run game whatsoever. It's like he just tries to gently twirl them to the ground. Like he's treating them like I think NFL higher ups want DBs to treat players. Just like, don't hit them too hard. Just, lead them to the ground very nicely. There's a play against BYU where he jumps the part. It's a 4th and 1 and everybody's piling in. And he somehow manages to completely miss where the play is going. And he has just jumped onto a random part of the pile where there is very clearly no ball there. And it's like, what are you doing? For the first time since probably the QB class, I'm wondering why this guy didn't return to school. Like, what you could have stayed another year and really refined the real weakest part of your game here. I think he needs a seriously good tackling coach with him. He's got the youth, he's got the athleticism, and I do think he's got some very nice vision, which is going to really help him in stock wise, because God damn, the rest of it, the physicality of it, the tackling side of it is just woeful. It's really, really bad. It puts me right off. I'm a -1, not a -2, because I do think, with being a 21-year-old and being some pretty athletic, like really like effectively athletic, he's got a chance, but that needs to dramatically improve. I was just like, what am I watching? Like, particularly in that BYU game, I was like, what is going on with this tackling? It's just atrocious. He could fit in quite well with the missed tackle rate Steelers of 2025, but yeah, no, thank you. -1 from me.
I have a few words for this one. He is a liability, an absolute liability. I agree on the tackling.
Oh, no!
Agree on the tackling. It's just everything from poor angles to atrocious wrap up, massively. His his play strength is pretty weak, I think, as well. He struggles to shed blocks. That's not really his game. I think he relies more on his explosiveness. I don't think his long speed is great either. I think he is pretty explosive, but then the longer game is not great. I think he played a lot in the slot as well last year. So yeah, he's got that versatility in him. I think his ball skills isn't bad. I mean, he had 5 interceptions, 19 PBUs. So not bad. I think he's basically his own coverage, isn't he? Basically, this is what we're looking at for him. But a total liability in the tackling. So even in zone coverage, I just wouldn't want him there. I'm a -2 on him. I as you said, he should have just gone back to school and beefed up a bit, kind of thing, just to get himself better in that tackle technique, get that down, and go forward. But he's where he is now. I mean, I've seen some hype for him, but the tackling is atrocious. I mean, he may have. I think he's got some special teams value. I think he has done some special teams snaps over the course of last year as well. So, I mean, what is he in the
81 in the consensus? Like,
81?
no, thank you.
That is way too high. You're more, for me. You're looking at around 4, 5. Get him into special teams, into some sort of sub package for the first year, and then see where he is. But right now, no, thank you. I'm good with him.
Firmly day 3 for me as well. Yeah. As I say, I've just given him a little bit more of a leeway in terms of the youth, and so there are some nice bits. 0 penalties as well. You like to see that. Pretty clean this last year. 3 forced fumbles as well, which is nice. Which is kind of shocking. He must have just launched his back into them or something. I don't know, but I just couldn't believe what I was seeing at times with him. Really couldn't.
You -1, Mark. Sorry.
-1. Yeah. I mean, he had a 19.8 missed tackle rate this past season, and that's his best one of the last 3 years. Wow, just those tackling grades are atrocious.
It's gonna be painful to see. I think if he goes too high and starts somewhere.
Why do you think he is this high on the draft board?
I think it's those coverage skills. And to say that the division in the backfield is good.
He's got the youth with that as well.
Yeah,
being only the junior. So
you say, you mentioned the explosiveness as well, and he does have that. Yeah, it's just it's a cannon being fired into a mountain of dung. Really,
I guess it's whether you think it's something that can be tamed or or if it's untameable.
Can he be coached out? Yeah.
His journey's definitely only begun, but another year at school would have probably helped him rather than where he, which as I say, he's 81 now. I mean, he could have been even better if he'd gone back and just really refined everything that he needed to. But coming right out into the NFL like this, I think he's just going to get exposed very quickly.
I think he's the sort of individual for me who goes two ways. He either gets somebody where he can be coached and he can maybe success, or he's going to be out of the league before his rookie contract goes.
Yeah, where's
That
the
kind
best
of
place
way.
for DBs in the NFL right now? Because that's where he needs to go. that they need that challenge. I don't know who DB the DB NFL team are is it the Eagles? No, well I mean yeah,
Where's
they've got
Fangio?
nice pieces. Well, he's still at Philly, isn't he? So
Yeah.
yeah, could they do a job with him? Maybe, I don't know. That'd be a nice end of your career challenge there, Fangio. Go and sort this guy's tackling out. Go on, have a go on that. Anyway, yes,
Nice.
let's get the sour I was excited to see another biblical name like Genesis come out here, but just wasn't excited with the player that came with it, unfortunately. So let's, those crickets are absolutely worthwhile for that. Let's move swiftly on. Tom, where do you want to take us?
We'll go to. I'm going to say DB. I'm not going to say safety. Jalen Kilgore. Kilgore. What a
Love that.
name. He is. I've got 6'1", 210, around that. At the combine, he's 440 at the 40-yard dash. Vertical wasn't too bad. Not. So what do we get here with this one? So he is an individual who has played majority of his snaps, I think, was in the slot. But he has played in the box deep, and also he's played on the boundary as well. So he is the DB of this class. And from what I see, I think he is getting a bit of hype because of that, because he's got this across the board as a DB. If you go back to his high school, he was a two-way player. He was a long jump state champion. He chose. I mean, where is he from? He's from Georgia. He chose South Carolina over Clemson, Oklahoma, Michigan, and FSU. It's a bit of I don't know why. It may be family. I don't know. He in his freshman year, he was thrown into the deep end because of Nick Mwari's injury. I think he got freshman All-American that year.
Yeah, SEC freshman. Yep.
Then he went into his sophomore year. He led in interceptions that year, and he made second team or SE. Then in his junior year, became team captain, so he was high thought of in that sense as a junior, coming team captain. And he was again also in. He had a variety of different things. I think he was first, second, or even third team. So but he had a really good year last year. So what's his main kind of strengths? He's very versatile. As I say, he's played across the board. His ball skills and turnover production last year was really, really good. He had 5 interceptions over the year. He was a former wide receiver. As I say, he was DB and also wide receiver, and you can see that in his hands and his catch point with the interceptions. But he is also physical as well. So he is a coverage a lot of the time, but he's physical in that game as well. So he can take on your tight ends and not be out physical. He's very explosive, and I think that 440 kind of looks at that, and also the 10-10 broad as well. I think that his acceleration is really, really good. His run support isn't bad. He's a willful tackler, more than probably that's his game. So yeah, but he can hold his ground with these quick slots. And I think ultimately, where do I see him? You could say you could put him back just into the slot rather than rather than in the box, but or kind of the hybrid nickel kind of player, really. And his football IQ is really good, and he has this strong recognition of plays, and as I said, he's a captain through and through, and being a junior and a captain is a big thing. What is his weakness? He has some tightness in his hips, which can affect his ability to mirror. And he's not the most twitchiest of movers either. His recovery, while good, it's not the best. So while he's got that massive, quite a really good burst, getting back in the long game, I think he struggles sometimes. Tackling efficiency, again, I think over the last couple of years, I don't think it's been great. I haven't got the figures, but I think the R is in the double digits. And he, yeah, and like a lot of these guys, they sometimes can get over aggressive in their plays and jump the play basically. So I quite like this guy. Ultimately, I don't know where he ends up on in the backfield. As I say, he played most of his game in the slot, and he may go as a slot guy in the NFL. But yeah, I quite liked him.
I think he does end up as a slot. I think that's probably where he's most effective. Although I am a bit worried in man coverage when it's in the slot. Mainly when I came into this, I was like, where do I recognize Jalen Kilgore from? And that's normally not a good thing if I'm thinking that. And then I remember, because I had such a keen eye on Casey Concepcion throughout the year, Concepcion absolutely killed him on a route in the game between A&M and South Carolina. I was like, oh yeah, that's where I remember him from. Okay, but man, I mean, I really like the player, like the athlete as well, like 9.97 relative athletic score, which is really great. Really high end stuff. Really great production as well. 8 interceptions in 3 years, 21 pass breakups over 3 years, which is really nice. Real ball hawk kind of a player, with some great burst. Apparently, he reached at 23 miles an hour at times in some of these runs, which is absurd speed. You'd love to see that.
Yeah, I was going to say, the weird thing about his testing is the 4.440, which is 94 percentile, which is great. But then you've got the 4.32 20-yard shuttle, 25th percentile. So he's a straight line athlete, it looks like. There's not that much turning. So you said, Tom, most of his snaps came out of slot corner. Does that rule him out of being a slot corner? The fact that
it hampers it a little bit, but I mean, yeah, that's just. I think zonally he's a little bit better in that respect. But as I say, when it's he's 1-on-1 and he's trying to stick with the receiver, it can affect him at times. But
because fastest guy we've talked about so far.
Yeah,
best speed,
well,
best long speed, 40.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, best long speed, certainly. The biggest issue I had with Kilgore, and what kind of keeps me at value as opposed to as a +1, I thought his motor was really inconsistent. Like there were times where you saw that really come off really nicely, but I just felt like he didn't give it his all at times. It really felt like if he did, he could be even more of an intriguing prospect. But there were just some really cold reps that I saw where you really want him to do a little bit more at times. And I think there was some lackadaisical, isn't it? Tackling at times as well. Yeah, some of the reps really frustrated me for a guy that's a real athlete. A really productive DB, and someone who doesn't let receivers breathe at times before he's all over you. If that was more consistent, then I think I'd be really, really high on this guy and probably lean towards more of the +1 sort of area. But yeah, as it is, just a very fine athlete that needs to give more every rep. From my personal view of what I saw on there. So I'm at value for him, which is you're looking at the back end of day 2, and I think that's a nice little place for him there. But yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. I do think it is ultimately slot corner is where he's probably going to be given the opportunity, and then see if you kind of move him around a little bit, and maybe he'll end up being more of an effective box safety as it goes on. But I do think slot is initially where he's gonna play, and yes, NFL teams are going to see exactly what they've got with him in there. But yeah, you do bring up good points, Gav, in terms of the kind of issues that may come up there. And as Tom said, a bit of a lack of fluidity in the hips could be a bit concerning.
What was your grade, Tom?
At value as well.
Okay, thanks. All right, let's move on to the next dude.
Cool. Okay, so who is next on the consensus board? It's such a, as I say, such a strong group. And yeah, it's just trying to remember who exactly is the next really nice guy. Okay, let's talk about a little bit of an off-season darling, kind of pre-draft darling of this whole thing. Bud Clark out of TCU. He's a senior. I haven't got another guy I haven't got an age for.
So he 2020 he was redshirt, so he's older.
Yeah, so he's what, 24?
Yeah, if not 25.
Yeah, could be right up there. 6'1", and I've got 188 on here. So you're talking 9th percentile weight in this class, which is a concern. But he was one of the talks of the town at the Senior Bowl week. Like, Bud Clark's name was everywhere after that week. A really, really good week of practices for Bud Clark. And then at the combine, 4.41 40, the combine as well. So showed off some really nice speed there. 4 interceptions in 2025. I think he's a very nice processor with effective downhill pace to back that up as well. Got a ton of experience behind him, certainly as an older prospect. Former team captain at TCU as well. I'm shocked that I'm going to say this after what we saw at the Senior Bowl, and going into the tape, I didn't think I would ever say this, but this might be my Tampa Beige guy of this whole process. I saw a decent talent who's a fair bit older, little unpolished in places. He's missed his tackle rate numbers are all over the shop. So he was 14% this year, he was 7% last year, but he was 27% the year before. So it's just like, whoa, okay. There's some great improvement, and then it kind of slips back down again, and you're like, oh, okay. I'm not really sure what we're getting with this guy. A guy who can kind of get washed out in the screen. SMU showed some prime examples of that. Takes some coverage gambles that don't always pay off as well. Yeah, just think he's a little bit undersized, older, bit unpolished. Does play a little bit bigger than 188. I think, he does have some nice downhill physicality to him. But I was just a little bit like, okay, yeah, I maybe hyped myself up a little bit on Bud Clark, but yeah, just solid, but not particularly intriguing. And I think that's very much the Tampa Beige mold of the whole thing. Where he's at now, 99? So he's that borderline end of day 2, start of day 3. I think that's probably about right. So yeah, at value. But yeah, just a little bit stunned that I came away from it kind of thinking, yeah, he's fine, but I'm not shouting to the moon about him or anything. There's nothing in particular I'm absolutely lauding here. But Tom, tell me if you think I'm underplaying him a little bit.
I don't think you're underplaying him. I think where he is kind of representative of basically he has is that kind of beigeness that you're talking about. He is, for me, I think he's come down from he was like mid hundreds at one point, and now because of what he's done in the draft season as such, that's how he's come down. But I see him as more that fourth rounder. He is that kind of, and he probably is one of the better ball hawks in this class. So he's got what 15 career interceptions. However, that has been over 6 years. So is that, and he's got 2 pick sixes as well. So he is your kind of robber, isn't he? He's your robber safety in that sense. And as I don't mind him, he's okay. As you say, I think the draft season has hyped him up, and I would be more happy probably around the 120 for him, rather than where he is. But he's okay. I think he will come in and do a job. He's an older prospect, so how many years have you got in him? Does he see much of that second contract? I'm not sure. But yeah, if you want a kind of a robber safety who can come in and be quite ball hawk, be that ball hawk, I don't think you can go too wrong with his kind of flaw. And also, I think he's had quite a lot of special team value as well. I think he's had a few special team reps. So in the first year, you're probably looking at him as that, as a special team person who can come in and rotate in a probably free safety. But yeah, I mean, I'm -1, but that's only because I think he's too high. I think he needs to be, as I said, in the 120s. Probably, yeah, a draft pick down, basically, a round down than what he's currently at.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. When does round 4 actually start? Because I know with the comp picks, it kind of pushes it up.
Is it 105, 110, somewhere like that? I think I can't remember.
Something in that sort of area. Yeah, I
So
mean,
sorry, did you say -1?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. I could sort of
Not
in that rough area. I would be
Hmm.
fine with. I'm not. Yeah, maybe a little bit higher than you are on that, but yeah, I just think he's a fine player.
Yeah,
Not much else to say, really.
Yeah. He will come and do a job, basically.
Majority of his snaps in college were last year were a slot corner.
Could potentially carve out a role there, but
so what you know is your
I like the physical downhill side of him, really. So
yeah, slot corner and then box. So that tells you. To me, he seems like a guy. I mean, he's underweight, but you know, is he a dude that could be your third corner and your third safety?
Yeah,
you know, that kind of guy.
Yeah. I think so.
A little versatile in that respect, yeah.
Right, Mark, I didn't get your grade. Sorry, buddy.
I was at value on him.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. As I say, just fine.
Right.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think it's back to you, isn't it, Tom?
Now it drops a little bit off the old consensus.
It really does. Yeah, blimey.
But I'm going to go to the next person, and it is Michael. I want to go either Taff or Taffy. Taffy.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's Michael Taff. I think potentially.
So I'll go for Michael Taff. Michael Taff is he's from Texas. He's a Texas boy through and through. He was a walk-on, I believe.
Yeah.
He redshirted his first year, so he's a little bit older. He's a fifth year guy. He in his high school career. I think what you need to know. He was a 0-star recruit at high school, and he turned down Brown, Colgate, and Rice, which I think are quite high in academic wise. So he must be quite a intelligent guy,
Ivy League, isn't it?
Yeah. To be a walk-on at Texas, he was Texas 6A state title defensive MVP twice in a row. And famously intercepted Quinn Ewers twice in the 2020 championship game as well.
I think
Texas.
I've intercepted Quinn Ewers. I don't know if it's that much of a.
So yeah, so had a pedigree, even though he was a zero recruit, but he walked on. He redshirted his first year. He then played in 13 games and then started to. I think in 2024 is when he kind of broke out the most. In that, I think he got second team All American as well. So yeah, he is 6 foot, again, a bit of a smaller guy. So he's 6 foot. He's 190. I've got tiny arms, 29 and a quarter. Average in his 40-yard dash, I think it was 450. So that's pretty the mark that you expect in safeties. Although it's now getting a lot quicker, as we've seen in the draft cover this year. Everything's getting quicker. So what do you get in this guy? I think what you get in him is a high IQ zone coverage guy. He is the guy who reads concepts and angles really well. He's got clean footwork. He everything about him as a zonal free safety it is I really like about him. As I say, he's got a really high IQ. He's a respected leader. I think he got awards for community work as well. In I think he got some sort of trophy. I can't remember what it is.
The Werfel trophy.
Yeah, for the college football.
I swear they make a new trophy every year. I really do.
So yeah, so he's this guy who's well respected as well in his team. He's not a bad tackler. I mean, I think if you look at him in 24, it was pretty bad. It was in 21%, but he got it down to 9.3, I think it was, in last year.
Yeah.
So improved dramatically in his tackling in a lot of ways. It's not a bad. It's not got bad physicality, and that downhill kind of blitzer, but I don't think that's going to be his game. I think he's going to be more of your zonal kind of free safety. I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. Oh, that's my Alexa going off for some reason. Don't know why.
Alexa's not quite sure how to help you with this, but you crack on.
But and then he's just experienced as well. You look at what he's done he's done over 2,000 defensive snaps. He's nearly done 1,000 special team snaps. So he's got such value. His floor is really high for me in everything. So, I mean, where his weaknesses are, and he is going to, at 140, 145 on the consensus board, he's going to have these. So he's not the most athletic. He's not the most elite in his recovery. But what he lacks in elite athletics, he makes up with his IQ of how to play football. As I said, his tackling wasn't great in 2024, but it has improved in 2025. So hopefully that's the course of what is going on. He's not a man-to-man guy. He's not a man coverage guy. I think that shows in his athleticism. So he won't be. He's not going to be great in a man coverage kind of a defense. But overall, I think his pass coverage metrics are from I'm trying to think, 52.9. I think it was his QB rating allowed, from what I see, and his coverage grade from PFF last year was 89.4. On the other side of that, his run defense was only 72. So you can see kind of he is more average in the run defense, but in the pass coverage and where he's best is in that zonal kind of formation. So so I've watched a lot of this guy, and I really like him. And the reason for and because I've watched a lot of him, this is why he and really kind of saw his floor as being really quite high. So you know what you're going to get with him. That's why he's going to be my sleeper.
Oh, I don't know if Gav was ready for that one. There he is.
Because in any sleeper that I like seeing a high floor, somebody who's a reliable, who's going to be. If you give him a chance, he may go even higher than that, but he will always be comfortable in the game. So I'm really I really like this guy. I'm a +1, and I think if you're looking in like the back end of the fourth round, I think I would take him.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with it. Certainly, that missed tackle rate improvement is really nice. You love to see that. It shows coachability. I do think he comes. I think his game speed's pretty decent. I like his lateral agility. I think he comes downhill quite nicely. As you say, his processing is really great. His vision for that is really good, particularly in like dump offs. Like he can just process that really well and just smash that. Believe he's another guy with special teams experience as well, and 7 career interceptions. It's just the arm length for me is a mighty concern, and that really hampered some of the missed tackle rates in the past. The tackling technique does need refinement and can be hindered by that. He's a live wire, but yeah, just those concerns leave me kind of at value with him in terms of where he is. He'll do a job as a safe pair of motor powered hands, but I'm not expecting the spectacular from him. The story's great, community work is great. I believe his family went to Texas. I think that's why he just decided he chose to walk on. He wanted to be a walk on there, and this past year he was a first team All American. So walk on at Texas to first team All American. That is a great story. And just shows how far he's come, and his NFL journey could be even take him even further to great heights. So I liked him. I just have the concerns that kind of pushed me away from making him a +1 in terms of just his size and what would you say, 29-inch arms?
Yeah, 29 and a quarter, I think it is.
Yeah, that's worryingly small. So
so one percentile arm length, 4 percentile weight, 29 percentile height, and the 40-yard dash isn't too bad, 4.5, but so you're not getting, it's not the athletics that you're drafting him for, but
no.
you can carve out a career at safety with just good play, right? That's not necessarily down to height, weight, speed. So
100%.
And he was a core gunner for Texas as well, so he can do that in the NFL.
That shirt in the downhill speed, I really liked, and I think as a gunner that will really show really nicely. So yeah.
What's your grade, Mark?
I'm at value with Michael
Taffy, the Welshman.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Where to move on to next? So I didn't actually watch the next guy on the consensus. We're starting to get into the kind of Jacoby Thomas out of Miami. Didn't watch him. But I did watch the guy after this. A guy that I know for a fact Mike giggles at the name every single time because he's a child. But we're going to talk about VJ Payne out of Kansas State. Thank you, Mike. VJ Payne out of Kansas State, senior, 22 years of age, literally turned 22 2 days ago. Happy birthday, VJ. 6'3", 206 pounds. Here we go, 6'3". We're doing a bit better there. He has 90th percentile arms. I've got down here. He's got an 81-inch wingspan. That is great. Like, you really, really like to see that from your back end guy. Also ran a 4.440 as well. Really, really nice. Another versatile piece you can put across multiple positions. Really like his pre-snap reads. His speed is really evident on tape. You really, really see him rocketing around everywhere. He had less than 50% completions against him this year, which you'd love to see as well. Really, really nice. Really nice footwork. I think his back pedal looks really smooth. His hips looks really fluid on the turn as well. His biggest problem is that he has had 9 penalties in college. He gets a bit too handsy when he's in coverage, and that's got to be kind of weaned out of him, certainly. The speed's very nice, but coming downhill is not his strongest suit. The tackling does get a little bit all over the place. He does get his angles wrong at times. So definitely needs refinement on that. But I do think the cons are certainly coachable, and I think VJ Payne could really make a team very happy in this draft. He's got the tools, he's got the smarts. He just needs a little bit of refinement here, there, and take those penalties down and everything. But outside of that, I think you've got another super athletic guy in this draft, a very interesting prospect. Nearly safe sleep at him. I was that high on him, but I'm definitely +1 on VJ Payne. I really, really liked what I saw out of him, and as I say, just kind of feel like he's pro ready already, just outside of it, a few issues that can very well be coached out of him. But give me this guy the top end. I mean, he's what, 156 right now. I'd probably take him closer to where Bud Clark is right now. I think I'd push him up that high. I think he offers a really good amount to a team. So I'm certainly high on VJ Payne.
I must admit, I didn't watch him.
What happened to the jump? He's got a big jump in his stock in December to January. Jump from about 400 on the big board up to 200.
Interesting. I do think, is that mock draft database jump?
Yeah. Usually, they're usually accurate though. I mean,
there's some. Yeah, I do think sometimes they're a little bit like, there's.
But it's their own. It's tracking the data of their own. So.
It's
Yeah. So for some reason, people have started drafting him and putting him.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a buzz about him. Certainly when you look across social media as well, I think he's getting a little bit of a pop. But he mostly came under my radar because of Mike being childish. But
right, yeah. Is it a testing situation, because that's after the season? So we played the season, and then in January, I don't know why, before the combine. I mean, it's pretty impressive, isn't it?
That's the thing. Yeah, before the combine. That's a bit.
I mean, the 4.4 speed, 94 percentile is nice. Arm length, like you said, and height. So speed, size, pretty decent. So I guess it's just whether a team thinks they can tame him and iron out the issues that you're talking about or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you get the right team for him, and I think he could be a hell of a player. Yeah.
Just going to see where he's played most of his snaps. 1 second, let's have a look here.
Oh I did have that myself.
Mainly in the box, 386 snaps in the box. But then a nice sort of free safety and slot corner. There's nearly 200 free and 123 slot. So a bit of versatility there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think the grades were like otherworldly this year for him, but I certainly still think that there's certainly a big upside to him.
We like the speed, eh? That's what you like, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. Where do you want to take
Tom, did I get your grade?
Next,
you didn't watch him. Tom didn't watch him.
I didn't watch him. No, I didn't watch him. No, it's fine.
Where do you want to take us next?
I won't go to the next one. I'll go to the next one after that. I'll go for Cole Wozniacki out of Texas Tech.
I'm glad you skipped one because I have also not watched Lewis Moore out of Indiana. So, yeah.
Cool. So, Cole Wozniacki. So he's 6'5", 204. I think I've got 214 or 220. I've got two weights here. I've got 214 and 220. I don't know what
240 would be. I've got
14. So
220.
214.
Oh, sorry. I was going to
Yeah.
say. My God. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I've got 220. Yeah.
220. So a bigger guy. I think that kind of shows how he plays. It's kind of a very I think he started as a linebacker, and he's gone to safety, hybrid safety. He is a 6th year guy. Yeah, I think 6th year guy.
Mhm,
So
yep,
he started in the FCS with North Dakota State, one of my teams I follow quite a lot, and had 4 years with them. Then he missed the entire season in 2024 with a foot injury. I think he had surgery on that foot. And then he transferred over to Texas Tech in his 6th year. What do we get with him? So he is a former linebacker. So he is, and it shows on tape, he is a run support. That's what he is. That's kind of his game. His physicality, his tackling, his downhill play. He thrives in kind of small spaces, and even though he's that physical tackling and he's kind of a missile, he misses only a few. I think I only saw one that I saw in his tape that I saw. So he doesn't miss tackles very much. I don't know what his percentage is.
10.6. So yeah, not terrible.
Not terrible. Yeah. His ball skills in FCS, should we say, were very elite. So before he had the foot injury, he had 8 interceptions in one season in 2023. So in that level, it seemed that his ball production was really good. I don't think it was that in the FBS, but again, he that is where his game is as well. He's very instinctive, in especially in the run game. He's rarely fooled by but by any kind of change of direction or anything like that. So yeah, so he is kind of your typical hybrid kind of guy. He that's what he is. He's you're too small to be a linebacker, but a little bit bigger to be a little bit big to be a true safety. So he's that's where he sees himself, and that run blocking as a strong safety, I think, is where he probably will find his game in the NFL. What's his red flags? His injury is a massive red flag. He's had multiple concussions. He missed 7 games in 2022. He had the significant foot injury in 2024. So there's a lot of injuries that he's had over the course of his college career. The age is another thing as well. He will be most probably 24, nearly 25 by the start of the season. His long speed isn't great, but I don't know if he'll be tasked with that in the NFL. I think his game will be more in the run D. And then in coverage, I think what I saw as well was, and that this comes from probably his athleticism in that sense, but he's a bit grabby, and I think there was some flags and penalties for that. And then again, his sample size is quite small because he was more of a linebacker in the FCS, but he's only had 1 season in the FBS.
6'4", 220. Do you not think he could play some linebacker like a?
I think I don't. I mean, I think you could do. I don't see why
elements
not.
of what you've said reminds me of Peyton Wilson. Not obviously he had a much higher draft stock, but some similar kind of similar profile in a way
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
injury and
Definitely.
stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, with special teams as well, because he's been on special teams, he's kind of got that floor quite raised a little bit more as well. So he's definitely somebody who can contribute. He kind of has that kind of Jeremy Chin kind of hybrid linebacker safety kind of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he's had a little bit of hype over the last 2 months, especially at the bowl games that he went to. I think was he at the Shrine? I think he was.
That would check out because his graph's gone from being sort of 300s up to now what is he 175 over that period. Yeah.
So I think he was Shrine Bowl where he kind of that's where he's kind of getting more hype. And I think there is also a lot of leadership and toughness. Cause although he's been injured a lot, I think he's played through injury a lot as well. So he has shown quite a toughness as well, even though he's had injuries. So yeah, I think as that kind of I think it's round 6, isn't it? I think he's worth a punt in that sense, and I think he's at value for me. I think that's with the concerns of injury, the concerns of I mean, a red flag around the age being quite older, and then also only really having one season in FBS, and also although his safety probably isn't a massive change to being a linebacker in FCS. There is that change as well with regards to learning the safety position. But yeah, so I think he's a little bit underrated.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the Steelers' radar actually, from what you've said. I mean, the missed year that will torpedo his stock a little bit. So it could be a bargain here, like you say.
Yeah.
And sounds like a sort of physical kind of guy that maybe the Steelers would be looking at.
Yeah. So I'm at value in the 6th round of what he is. So yeah, I quite liked him. So yeah,
I really liked him.
Oh,
yeah, just those concerns are definitely notable, for sure. The injury and the age, absolutely. But I love the size. I love the way he comes downhill. I love the fact that he wraps up properly in his tackling, which I had actually put next to it hallelujah, because by that point I'd seen a lot of guys whose tackling technique was just really off, and I came to Wisniewski and it was just like, oh, okay, finally someone who's actually doing it right. Patient diagnosing of the play, combined with the closing speed, make him a great asset. I think he hits with force as well. Yeah, absolutely. You know, all eight of his career interceptions came in 2023. He hasn't had one in any other season. So you know, a little bit concerning in that respect. There were times, you know, even when he is doing the right thing with the tackling technique and what, I did know that he can be beaten on initial contact by people coming at him. You know, they can kind of bounce off him a little bit. So you know, the technique's there, but some of the a surprising kind of physicality issue there, which didn't happen often, but it was noticeable in a couple of the bits of the tape I saw. But man, he hits and moves like a freight train. Valuable asset for any run defense. Yeah, he's as I say, that just not a lot of production out of it. You know, age and relative inexperience against top opposition is going to push him down. But I think he's probably one of the bigger, low floor, high ceiling sort of guys in this, and I think it's a kind of fascinating kind of debate as to where you might see. I think he could be one of the more divisive kind of players in this whole draft process as to where you might see him. But I'm really high on him. I'm a +1. You know, not quite a sleeper, but I was pretty high on him to the point I was close to it. Yeah, just really like what I saw out of Wisniewski.
What's interesting is his final year at NDSU was graded pretty highly. You're talking 93 grade defensive
Yeah,
grade.
his final year of
Yeah.
playing. Yeah, before
the injury, and then he's come back and actually up a couple of tiers, gone to Texas Tech, still put in some nice grades there despite coming back off the injury. So you're wondering if the sort of trajectory is arrow up for this guy, and he's still recovering from. I mean, a foot injury for a safety that's got to set you back a bit. So I think this could be a guy, could be a sleeper for sure.
He was snubbed from the combine as well.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
What? Can't believe that. Like, yeah, when you watch the tape, you're like, how has this guy not got a combine invite? What's going on there?
How does it work with the combine? Because it is because it isn't it like clubs teams have to like kind of say what they want to see from the combine. So
Yeah.
is that done 2 months prior, or is it done 1 month prior to when somebody is actually invited? It'd be
I'm not
interesting.
100% sure, yeah, because I know some people say that teams do it kind of maybe tactically snub people so that the other teams don't get an eye on it. I wonder if that's if that's a thing, and B, if maybe somebody's got their eye on Wisniewski maybe as maybe that. Maybe it's the Steelers. Ooh, who knows? But yeah, no, I really like him. I really like the player.
Yeah. All right, cool. Where do you want to go next?
That was you, wasn't it, Tom? I think you
Yeah.
hit Wisniewski. So where do we go next? As I say, didn't watch Lewis Moore out of Indiana. I didn't actually watch Ramsey's teammate Bishop Fitzgerald.
Okay, there's one I've got, but okay, yeah.
Okay, we'll go back to him then. That's no problem. Where have I got next? Actually, no, I tell you where we're going to go. We're going to go to a guy that I talked about nearly sleepering. Our boy there that we just talked about. Talk about a guy that I very, very nearly sleepered. Let's go to Iowa and let's talk about Xavier Nwankpa.
Say that carefully.
Yeah, Nwankpa. Now it is. I have been told it is pronounced that way, but Nwankpa is how you spell it. Oh my days! Don't know what happened there. I think Tom's having some audio issues. Xavier Nwankpa out of Iowa, senior, 22 years of age, 6'2", 208 pounds. This guy might just be the hardest hitter in this entire class. He is an absolute train of a player. He launches himself downfield. You love to see it. There was a play against Indiana where he's absolutely thrown Mendoza into the benches along the sideline. Unbelievable hitter that he is. 9.95 relative athletic score as well. Really, really love to see that. A great athleticism in his game. I think he's got really nice awareness of where the ball is. Really great sideline to sideline speed. Shifty back pedal. Really impressive footwork. A lot of that was just really, really impressive. Just the thing with him is, he's not really got the production to kind of back that up. There's minimal production. He is probably more of that kind of box run D sort of guy. He's not that much. He wasn't really threatened much downfield. I don't know how much of a threat he is going to be. Like really at the back end of things. Can get caught flat-footed at times. You did see that a couple of times on tape. When he's running through, he's a demon running downhill, but he can kind of run into plugged up gaps and kind of get himself a little bit lost in that respect. He's got 9th percentile hands. He's got really, really small hands, which is a little bit of a concern. Has a couple of bad whiffs on tape, certainly when he's coming down, which is probably to be expected for somebody who comes down the way he does. And when he is coming off the edge, when he is asked to come off the edge, could stand to be a bit sharp around the corner and have a little bit more bend to him. But Matt, I am just such a big fan of what I saw out in Nwankpa. Just it's somewhat limited tape, but of what you're getting with him, there's not as much versatility as you see with some other guys. But what you do see is an absolute mauler with a monster. I was going to say a monster tackle on him, but that would just indicate another moment there. Yeah, exactly. But I think a lot of the cons are coachable. You can't coach tiny hands, I guess, but man, he could be a steal at the back end of this draft. If you're looking for a homing missile of a player, I think he can do a hell of a job for you. I told myself I wasn't going to fall in love with another Iowa player in this draft, but damn it, I did. +1 on him. Really, really love what I saw. As I say, there's just one other guy that pipped him to the post of sleeperage, but I mean, Nwankpa's 7th round, probably like 229 on the board right now. I'd probably take him higher than that. I think I'd go maybe as high as like middle of 6th with him potentially. I think he's just that much of an asset for you. That kind of middle of day 3 as opposed to the back end of it. Just loved what I saw out in Nwankpa.
Fair enough. I don't know if Tom's mic's broken or not.
I don't know. Yeah. He may be back. I don't know what's. I think we might be having some
kind of technical issues.
I don't know if he also watched Nwankpa, but
he's got it's fairly high missed tackle rate. If you're looking at the 22 as well, I mean, okay, that's minimal snaps actually, but
it's
the last 3 years.
It can get a little all over the place, and you kind of see it. But when he does connect with them, you're going to feel it, certainly.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, Tom. I don't know if we've lost Tom. Did you just want to press ahead? So you've got your grade there. Sorry, so I'm useless for you here. I can't really help you. So you're going to have to do a solo show, Mark. I'm apologising for that.
No. That's all good. We'll see if we can get Tom back at all. I've just dropped him a message. He's still in here, but he's don't know what's going on with that.
Might have died.
Yeah. So just having a look at some of the other guys around the consensus board. I know, as I say, Tom alluded to the fact he said he'd seen Bishop Fitzgerald, who I hadn't seen, but had got good grades, high grades with PFF. So I'm sure he'll be on there. I think just having a look at the list of players I've got, I think potentially the only guy I have left is my safety. I keep saying safety because it's a safety card.
That makes sense.
Yeah, is my safety sleeper. It is that. Yeah, he is the only guy I do have left. So this guy, I had not heard of this guy until this week, in fact. And there's a particular reason why his name kind of appeared here. So my sleeper, who does not even appear on the NFL mock draft database big board, consensus board here. My sleeper is Kapena Gushikin out of Ole Miss. Ole Miss this past year, Washington State before that from 2023 to 2024, and was at Saddleback Community College from 2021 until 2022. He's Hawaiian, and I believe there is a Hawaiian campus for Saddleback. I think it's a Californian college, but I believe they've got a Hawaiian campus. Yes, so senior, 23 years of age, will be 24 when the season starts, so a little bit of an older prospect, and 6 foot, 185 pounds. So again, one of these lighter, smaller guys. Now, he's not on this mock consensus board, and you're thinking to yourself, you're not really kind of paying any attention, and then all of a sudden, he comes out and has an unbelievable day of testing at the Ole Miss Pro Day, like an absolutely stellar day. I'm just trying to find the full results of what he did, but he had numbers in top percentiles, first of a ton of people. If he had been at the combine, which he wasn't, he would have been really highly ranked amongst all that. It's just loading up here now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had a 4.3540, which would have been tied fourth amongst safeties at the combine. 41-inch vert, which would have been tied second, and he had an 11-inch broad jump, which would have been first amongst all the guys in there. So I saw that and it caught my eye, and I was like, well, I need to have a look at this guy then, I think, and see if what we see on tape kind of matches up. And man, I love what I saw. Now it's definitely a risky sleeper, but he might be 185 pounds, but he hits like he's 20, 30 pounds heavier than that. Like he hits hard. It's great. There's a lot of tackle production. 6 tackles against Georgia was massive for him. Like really, really impressive stuff there. Really nice eyes in coverage. He plays longer than he looks as well. Like there's some really, really nice plays where he gets up high, and that's kind of shown in the athletic testing as well. He has a great reaction skills. His interception against Miami, really, really great reactions to react to a tip ball, to pick that off. Really, really nice stuff there. I'd seen a lot about the fact that he was kind of a bit of a demon at Washington State before he transferred to Ole Miss. So I watched a bit of Washington State tape as well, and can confirm, loved seeing what I saw from him at Washington State before he transferred over there. He has a amazing interception for Washington State. I'm trying to remember who the quarterback was now that he picked off, but it was just literally jumped right in front of him, controlled the ball, returned it to the house as well. I believe it was a pick six. So yeah, really, really enjoyed what I saw of it. As I say, slightly older, slightly underweight, 6 penalties in the last 2 years. Want to clean nose up, certainly. Production is somewhat limited. I think a lot of people were kind of talking about his safety teammate at Ole Miss, who actually is on the consensus board, albeit a little bit lower down, Wydett Williams Jr. I think more people kind of focused on him. But you see that athleticism pop out, and then you pop on the tape, and what there was of it, which, yes, granted, wasn't a terrific amount, absolutely backed up what you saw in the testing. Just fantastic stuff, if albeit a little bit fleeting. But I genuinely think there was apparently NFL teams who were kind of talking about him and like really impressed with what they saw. I think this guy could easily go in day 3, and players has just kind of jumped his way into that consideration. He plays outside of his limitations and then some. That's why I really, really love what I saw, and wanted to put the sleeper tag on him, because I think he could be a really underrated prospect.
Well, yeah, this is what the sleeper tag's about. Real deep sleeper. Why do you think he's not even on any consensus boards?
I just think it's he had a very quiet year. I think it was just very much consensus wise. I think he's not there just because the you look at the size, you look at the age, you kind of think to yourself, he might be a nice UDFA pickup potentially, but maybe not more than that. But what I think it's a little bit Oscar Delpish in the terms of you don't see a lot of the production on there, so maybe you're not really rating. There's not much there to be able to rate. And then when he's in an environment like he was at the Pro Day, suddenly you're looking at him like, oh my God, what an unbelievable athlete you've got there.
He's played significant snaps.
He has, yeah. He's certainly he's played a lot, yes, absolutely. But just I don't know if it's a scheme thing or if just other players on that team have taken the shine. Ole Miss has got quite a good front to it defensively as well. But yeah, where he shows when you actually look and when you're actually focusing on him, it shows up really nicely. And the tape backed up what I was seeing. So I'm absolutely I'm rooting for this guy at the back end of. Oh no! I've just turned on the Zencaster and the recording stopped.
Oh no, no,
Oh,
it's
no.
still going. It's still going.
Is it? Oh, it's stopped for me.
Oh yeah, it says finished. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, because Tom jumped. Oh no, because Tom's laptop completely fritzed on him.
Okay, well
Oh,
we've
no,
still got
when did that
we've still got the YouTube stream, so it's not all lost. All,
Oh, okay.
all
No,
is not
that's-
lost. All is not lost. Maybe
that's-
we can patch something together from that. But
Yeah, do it. Yeah, we'll see what we can do with that.
yeah.
But,
All right.
yeah.
Well, we're still there. So do you want to wrap things up here for the YouTube, and then we'll try and salvage the podcast. But yeah, that was a good.
yeah.
Did I get your grade there? No, I didn't. I got him as a sleeper. Was he a 1 or a 2 for you?
1 for me.
One,
Yes. Yeah. As I say, I mean, it's he's not even on the big board.
Right, yeah, it's a real deep sleeper. There should be a different drop for that. That's so deep. It's on the bottom of the seabed. It's so deep. So shout out to you. That might be one of the deeper ones.
Mm, yes.
Do you think
we
he'll
shall
rise
see.
up? Where would you think he would go? Do you think he's going to get drafted, or do you think he's going to be undrafted?
I think he could. As I say, there's decent buzz that's come out for him in the. Apparently some NFL teams have been talking to him and about him. So I think there's definitely a day 3, 7th round sort of consideration for him. Certainly, I think he could have snuck his way into there with the testing.
Fair enough. One to root for. Hey, that's going to be one when we're on draft day and we're on that Zoom call together and he gets drafted. We'll all be up on our feet for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. All right, cool. So should we wrap it up there, or have you got anything?
Absolutely, yeah. Think we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, this part does come out in the audio recording.
Oh no,
but at
we'll
least
do.
we-
We can salvage it. No problem.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
we'll
It's all
salvage.
good.
Yeah, thank you to Tom. He's just told me his laptop froze and everything. So
All right.
yeah, don't quite know what happened there, but big thank you to Tom. I know he had a couple of other guys, and I'm sure as I say, follow Tom, Steel City 43 on Twitter, and all year round he has some. He talks about college prospects. So if you want to get in there early with some of these guys, definitely Tom is the guy to follow.
Yeah.
But yeah, as well as him, follow the show at UK Steelers Pod. Follow myself at Mesh NFL. Follow Gav at GM Boom Op. I believe we were saying that we were going to do running backs this week. We didn't get the chance to because of people not being available. But I think next week we're looking at it.
I think so. Yeah.
It's looking like it. So we might be able to finally jump on the running back train there. But for now, we will see you next week.
All right. Cool. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.